Our next company is Rupie, a community-focused talent job matching platform for building video games. Whether you're an individual or a full studio, Rupie connects you to vetted talent and gigs, facilitates project negotiation and coordination, handles all the back office legwork, so you get to focus on what you do best, designing awesome gaming experiences. That means you. Here we go. Founder and CEO Austin Anderson is here to tell us about all that Rupie can do. Is there anything you guys can't do?
Not one thing, actually. Thanks, really appreciate it. By the way, was that last one a pitch or poetry? Honestly, that was like gorgeous. I'm like, wow. Yeah, if we can give another round of applause there. Hi, my name is Austin Anderson. I'm the CEO and founder of Rupie. We are a game building platform here in Bend. A little bit about myself. So about 10, 15 years of tech experience, started in video games actually, and then last gig I was at LinkedIn, a company called LinkedIn, if you know, as an engineering manager, and moved to Bend for the reason the majority of you guys moved to Bend, which is weed, of course. No, I'm just kidding, but the nature, but also to get back into video games. Something that a lot of people don't know is that the video game industry is actually larger than the music industry and the movie industry combined. $138 billion and growing super fast. It's massive. And 90% of these game studios that are building games leverage outsource and contract talent. But at the end of these engagements, they actually let go of hundreds of talented developers and artists all at once. And it's pretty bad. And what happens is these folks scour the internet. They're usually through like 90s forums in their social network to try to find their next opportunity. But most of the time experience a pretty massive upheaval in their lives, as well as big wage gaps, and it's really problematic. So that's kind of why we built Rupie, actually. And on the flip side, too, the game studios themselves spend an enormous amount of money vetting and coordinating these temporary teams. And they often leverage third-party services to do that, or they build internal in-house infrastructure to handle that. And it's just a massive undertaking in general. So that's kind of why we built Rupie. Similar to something like LinkedIn or Upwork, Rupie is a social building platform. We actually provide vetting services and coordination, as well as matchmaking for the games industry. We also have a subscription-based set of back office services. So we do all the boring stuff for game studios and the individuals, like tax automation and payment guarantees and scheduling. And we really just care about giving the opportunity to these studios and individuals the blessing of being able to just focus on creating amazing immersive video game experiences. We think that in the next 10 to 15 years, that most economic and social activity is actually going to be inside of digital video game experiences. If you think about it, and this is probably through AR and VR technology, actually. And if you think about it, most of all of you are actually gamers in some way or another nowadays. Whether it's your little mobile phone device and your little game that you play, when you're in the bathroom or whatever, or the gamified social network that you're a part of. It's kind of, gaming has this way of creeping in on us and kind of taking over our lives without us really expecting it. And we think that the future is video game-like experiences. And that term is actually broadening over time. But if video games are everything, or will be everything pretty much, we have to fix a very broken ecosystem, an ecosystem that doesn't take care of the people who are involved in it, an ecosystem that can build the future of digital experiences better. And we think that with Rupie, we can absolutely accomplish this. We are the connective tissue between the individual and the studios, and provide the necessary legwork to help them just focus on what matters most. Our team is awesome. We've got 4 co-founders, collectively 20 plus years of experience in the video game space, and also a bunch of ex-LinkedIners. Some of our advisors you might know, oh, by the way, these are 2 of our co-founders are here, Lisa and David. Raise your hand. Hello. You might know some of our advisors, investors. We raised $500,000 in pre-seed through Strategics. The co-founder of a company called Twitch, a company called Red Octane that did a game called Guitar Hero, a company called Square Enix, as well as Riot Games, which is, they did a game called League of Legends. So these people understand the necessity of building in the right infrastructure to support the future of building video games, the plethora of applicability of what that represents. So we are raising a $2 million seed right now, just so you guys know. We're super excited to be a part of the Bend ecosystem, and the community here has been insanely helpful. Bend Tech especially, we're super honored to be a part of the Startup Founders Office. Here's Amanda, give a round of applause to her. Bend Tech, leading that effort, amazing effort, and it's been very helpful for a small company like ours just get together and do product planning stuff. It's been an incredible experience. And we think that Bend can be a bastion for video games. Only in Bend are you going to talk about tea and video games in the same hour or whatever. But there's some big players here, and I think we can make a huge impact in delivering a locale that really supports the future of what this media looks like. I really appreciate all of your time, and I really look forward to connecting with every single one of you on a personal level. And that's it. So thank you so much.
Austin, I love the vision behind Rupie and your goals here. What about some questions from the audience for Austin? Yes?
Yeah, so you guys say on your website that you're closed beta right now. What is kind of the launch strategy? What are the next steps as you guys, going into a seed round? What does that look like?
Moving on from beta to launch strategy, what's that look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, so we have been in a closed beta working actively, sort of like an agency. So we're doing some pretty interesting titles that I can't really talk about. So end of June is when our open beta happens. We're doing a bunch of game jams all over the United States. That's how we're building supply, actually, on the one side of the market. So we've got this kind of cheat code to build supply. Is that a pun? I'm not even sure if that's a pun. Who knows? Who cares? And then we're actively doing BD. So as we raise, we plan on scaling out our team a little bit more. We got a bunch of people sort of waiting to get on board for that to happen. And then, we're constantly bringing on new investor advisors. and end of June, you can expect end of June. That's when the action's going to happen.
Super exciting. Another question. Yes. Asking to hear more about game jams and bringing people to Bend for those.
Yeah, thanks. Game jams are awesome. So basically a bunch of people get together and they build a game within a short duration for prizes. We've been doing it all over. We did it a couple months ago downtown New York with a company called Playcrafting. We actually co-hosted with Microsoft for this game jam called Global Game Jam. It's like 35,000 people participate in this game jam. It's insane. So yeah, people get together. It's expensive though, right? I mean, especially if you're going to do it in the Bay or downtown New York. So we think Bend could be an awesome place to represent that and basically conduct some of these really cool community social events around gaming and then congest the Redmond airport and everybody gets pissed off anyway. So
it's a good reason for airport congestion. Kip. Monetization strategy. Reveal your secrets.
Secrets to be revealed. Yeah, great question. So the issue with a managed marketplace, or I guess unmanaged marketplaces, it's more difficult. Managed marketplaces, that's sort of the trend is going right now. You paired things like Upwork, Gigster, et cetera, right? you can't just rely on a transactional model. And there's gaps in payment, et cetera. So we're providing additional value. We're very much focused on providing additional value through subscription. So we've got a subscription base as well as a transactional model. And coupled, we're entering into, I think, a $30 billion market.
Awesome. Anybody else? Yeah, no big deal, right? $30 billion. Who else? Any other questions? Talina. How many employees do you have?
4. We have 4 co-founders. And then we're using some outsourced talent as well. But we've got 4 additional people who have been participating in Rupie and helping us out. They're just waiting for us to acquire more funding to come on. But yeah, we run a lean ship for sure.
Her follow-up question was, will you hire our teenager? He codes. It's cool. Yeah, we'll talk later. We'll talk later. Anybody else? Thank you, everyone. Oh, no, one last question.
So you mentioned that Twitch is one of the investors. Are you working with entertainers and creators, or is it just the people who actually write code, program, and design games?
Asking about who he's working with at Twitch.
Good question. Yeah, so it's the co-founder of Twitch, Kevin Lin, who actually invested in us. But to answer your question, we are working with the builders, the artists, the animators, et cetera. But we do have some interesting strategies around how to participate in the streaming aspect as well, because streaming is huge, right? So we're thinking about, how could we make game development more competitive, or something that a spectator sport, or something that we could stream on Twitch. So we're actively thinking about that for sure. But yes, to answer your question, it is mostly the builders right now and artists, which Twitch does have a lot of artists streaming their stuff anyway. So yeah, there's overlap.
Austin, it was great to hear from you. Thank you so much.